I did it the consumer packaged goods way. Small order and Vitamin Water from 98 to 2007. Sold that to Coke for $4 billion. And then in 2011, started another sports drink called Body Armor, competed against Gatorade. And we sold that in 2021 for $8 billion. Combined, two companies to Coke for $8 billion. Not always in a negative way. My mom and dad told me to be careful. You know, they were immigrants coming from France. My dad was a waiter, my mom was a seamstress. So when I was making big money just having a job, you know, at a water company, and I said at 28 years old, I want to go partners with this guy, Darius Bikoff, and I want to do this. They said, oh my God, be careful.
Over these 28 years, what was the most amount of money you made in a single year?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Could you give me a range?
No.
More than $10 million?
A lot more.
More than 100?
I'm not going to tell you. They're going to get me kidnapped.
Yeah. How much real estate do you own now?
I own a lot of real estate.
Do you think a home is a good investment?
The home is a terrible investment. The home is not an investment.
But a lot of people would disagree with that, though.
Right, I get that all the time, and I argue this point with people over and over, and I actually own a home, and I can tell you it's the stupidest investment you could make. It is not an investment, neither is this.
Selling sandwiches made you a billionaire.
Selling sandwiches made me a billionaire.
Number 1.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, is this your Rolls Royce?
Yes.
And how did you get a Rolls Royce? What did you do to become wealthy?
See all these beautiful buildings around here? All these great retail tenants?
Yes.
That's what I do. I own and operate retail shopping centers throughout the state of Florida.
How long have you been in real estate for?
28 years.
Over these 28 years, what was the most amount of money you made in a single year?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Could you give me a range?
No.
More than $10 million?
A lot more.
More than 100?
I'm not going to tell you. They're going to get me kidnapped.
Yeah, I go all over the world. I go all over the world interviewing millionaires and billionaires. Can I get 1 minute with you for our channel?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
How much real estate do you own now?
I own a lot of real estate.
Do you think a home is a good investment?
The home is a terrible investment. The home is not an investment.
But a lot of people would disagree with that, though.
Right, I get that all the time, and I argue this point with people over and over, and I actually own a home, and I can tell you it's the stupidest investment you could make. It is not an investment, neither is this car. It's not an investment. It's a luxury item you want to have. And I could take you back over time. Homes don't always go up in price. The problem is most people that are 40 years old and younger have never seen a bad real estate market. I've lived through them. And by the way, homes do go down in price.
So if somebody has $100,000 saved up right now, where would you put that money in today's world?
I'd go right into a commercial property. I'd find an asset class you like. The truth is, multifamily is the easiest one to get into. You could buy a duplex, a triplex, put $100,000 down. You could easily buy a $300,000-$400,000 property. You need to manage it yourself. You need to lease it yourself. You need to take care of it, running all the books yourself. Learn the game. Fix it up, keep it going, then eventually you can refinance it, pull some cash out of that, and go buy another.
What's the best time to buy real estate?
Always the best time to buy real estate.
Always?
Always the best time to buy real estate.
What about in a bad market?
Always the best time. If it's a bad market, it's a good time to buy. And if it's a good market, it's a good time to buy. You always want to be buying real estate.
Why?
Because it's generational. And if you're not going in with the flip, this is not like wholesaling and trying to get in and out. If you're going in and saying, I'm going to buy this property and I'm going to keep it for 10, 20, 30 years, it's always a good time to buy. And by the way, nobody can time a market. So you can watch all the stuff you want on the news, all the stuff you want in the newspapers. None of it's right. If anybody really knew, they'd be the richest man on earth. And one of them, Warren Buffett, will tell you all the time, you can't time anything.
What's your name?
Todd Napola.
Todd, the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. What keeps people broke in today's world?
Lack of financial education. You know, I was never a great student in school, but the schools simply do not teach you what to do when you get out of school. They teach you how to be good at history, math, science, and so on and so forth. They teach you how to get into college, but they don't teach you how to get a mortgage, how to balance a checkbook, what to do with credit card debt, what's good debt, what's bad debt, why you should be buying a business, not buying a damn jet ski. That's what they don't teach you.
So let me ask you this. If you can instill one money lesson in every person watching this video right now, what would that be?
Don't listen to the masses. The masses are entirely wrong. The masses are going to tell you the right thing to do is to save in your 401k and your IRA account. It's going to tell you to buy a house and pay it off in 30 years and hope you get a job with possibly a pension and you're going to be okay. You won't. Take care of yourself. Be financially responsible.
Did you ever have anybody that doubted you in business?
Oh, yeah. You're going to have a lot of doubters, but doubters don't necessarily doubt you because they don't think you could do it. They're just afraid you might do something that they're not doing, and then they got to hold themselves accountable. And that's a big problem for people. So don't worry about what people tell you. No, do your own thing, stay in your own game, and keep chugging forward.
What did you learn about entrepreneurship that surprised you?
It's way better to be an entrepreneur. Most people think it's scarier, but it's way better to be an entrepreneur than to work for someone else.
Do you think everybody's built for entrepreneurship?
Oh, no. I think a lot of people think they are, but when you find out what it's like to be the boss, it's not always that much fun.
How old are you now?
52.
And if me and you died tomorrow and you could leave one more guiding principle to the younger generation, what would that be?
What worries me for your generation specifically, I have two daughters your age, is this image that's out there and everybody's competing against a non-existent thing. What I mean by that is you guys are seeing guys, especially in Miami, in Lamborghinis at 20 years old and living in penthouses. Everybody has a penthouse in Miami. There's not that many, but everybody seems to live in one. And there's an illusion that it's so easy and everybody has it and they give themselves stress. And you know, I'm going to tell you, I have a guy in my office who I let borrow one of my cars because he won a bet with me as a joke. Coke, and he literally took pictures of the car, and he posted a picture of himself on Instagram, and the other day he was down, and I'm like, what's wrong? It's like, everybody's doing better than me. I see it all over Instagram, and I said, you're that guy. You didn't put in your post, that's my car. You're doing the same thing. It's just an illusion. Nobody gets there quick. Yes, there's gonna be some rich kids, but whether you're gonna be the best lawyer, the best architect, the best real estate guy, whatever it is, it's gonna take a lot of time. So don't count other people's money. Don't compare against them, because remember, comparison is the thief of joy. As long as you're making forward progress and having fun, it's gonna be great.
You got amazing advice, my friend. Thank you so much for your time.
It's been a lot of fun.
Number 2.
All right, you guys, the time has now come. We're heading to go meet up with Jimmy John's, the billionaire founder that got rich selling sandwiches. Come on, you guys, let's go see what he has to say. All right, you guys, so we just got to Jimmy's house out here in Nashville, Tennessee. Look at the amount of land this guy has out here, you guys. This house is worth millions, but this guy's worth billions. So we're gonna go meet another billionaire right now to figure out how he got rich. Come on. How you doing, Jimmy?
How are you?
Doing good. It's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us out. We really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
that.
Rock and roll.
I got your colors on. You know that, right?
You got my colors on?
I got the red and white on. Come on. I had to come correct. I love the cross, by the way.
Yeah.
Now, I tell all the people that I interview,
Yeah.
I have one rule for my videos.
Yeah.
You're actually the 28th billionaire that I've interviewed on this channel. And
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this one because I love Jimmy John's.
Oh, right on.
But my rule is there's no holding back. We need to give the younger generation the secrets on what it takes to
Yeah.
build wealth and become a billionaire. Can we make that happen in this video?
You know, we can try. Yeah, let's give it a shot. You know, I mean, let's give it a shot.
Who am I here with today?
Jimmy John.
And what was your business?
Jimmy John sandwiches.
So selling sandwiches made you a billionaire.
Selling sandwiches made me a billionaire.
How many billions did you make with Jimmy John's?
The company was valued at about $3.5 billion when we sold.
$3.5 billion.
Yeah.
When you first started this business, did you know that it was going to turn into the multi-billion-dollar empire that it did?
No. All I wanted was enough money for weed and beer. You know, I had no idea.
Were you a good student in school?
No, second to last in my class. I graduated. It was the worst.
But you didn't let that define you.
Oh.
Why not?
I'm the only billionaire from my class. I'm just fine, right? I did just fine.
I'm going to challenge you right now.
Yeah.
As a billionaire, take me back to the most life-changing conversation that you've ever had. What is the greatest advice you ever received throughout your career?
It was Jamie Coulter, 1987. Jamie Coulter was a Pizza Hut franchisee. He had 25 Pizza Huts. He lived in Wichita, Kansas. This is the guy that he built those up and sold them. He created Lone Star Steakhouse, Sullivan's, and bought Del Frisco's and blew it all up and was a big public company. Jamie Coulter taught me 1987. I had 4 sub shops. And he taught me if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. People do what you do, not what you tell them. And then he shared with me all his process procedure stuff that had his Pizza Huts, and I adapted into the Jimmy John stores. But the biggest one was if you can't measure it, you can't manage it, know your numbers. Get your numbers, know them. And that was probably the most, that was life-changing for me.
Was the sacrifice worth it to become a billionaire?
Well, I was a billionaire before I sold. Like I had $1 billion when I sold the business because I was making all that money, so I saved the money, right? And I didn't know how to invest, so I bought land and farmland, and I bought gold because I didn't know how to be an investor. So
what do the richest people do with their money? Like you as a billionaire, talk to that person. They don't have a great mentor out there.
Yeah.
Where do you put your money in today's world to make it work for you?
You know, you ask really, really good questions. I do things that I understand. I've got to be able to understand it on a single sheet of paper. I've got to understand what it is, and I got to be able to relate to it. And so real estate for me is really easy. Farm ground, I'm a massive farm owner.
Why is that?
Because farm ground is really, really easy to manage. I mean, you have ground, you have land, you have your inputs, you have your seed and all the fertilizers and all those things, and you plant, and then you hope for rain, and then you harvest and you sell. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
So it can be a very profitable piece of real estate to buy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the farm business has been incredible. And then I also, as far as taking risk, I bet the jockey, not the horse. So I bet the entrepreneur. If I meet somebody that I like a lot and they got the fire and they don't have excuses, because people either perform or they tell you stories. I like to invest in performers. I don't want any stories. I've heard enough.
So I want to go back to 2003 one more time to discuss this real quick. You had, I think, 200 locations.
70 failing.
70 failing.
Yeah.
You could have made the decision to go off and sell those locations, but instead you said, I want to turn these around. I want to turn this business around. What was the one thing you implemented to those stores to ensure that they would become profitable?
I changed something. What I changed is I quit selling. And I told people, I said, look, if you're going to go in the sandwich business, this is 24/7, 365. And if you're in the cattle business, cattle need to get fed on Sunday. They need to get fed on Christmas Day, and they get sick, and you got to take care of them. I start telling people the truth about the business. It's a lifestyle. It is incredible hard work. It is a grind. So if you're going to do this, you better be ready to be a grinder. Okay, this is not a joke. I mean, flavor costs money, and the flavor you taste in Jimmy John's, it's all that everything is hand sliced, right? And I only would sell them one at a time instead of selling them an area. I said, I'll give you one. If you like it, great. Then we'll give you a couple more. If you're doing well, great. We'll give you a couple more. It was a reverse pitch, and you know what happened? The more I told people don't do it, guess what people want to do?
They want to do it.
They want to do it. But I was just telling them the truth because I was rich. My kids were young. I didn't need money, and I said, I'm no way I'm ever doing what I just did ever again. And so that was and then so the third 10 years we opened up 2,500 stores, one at a time.
So there's no work-life balance in order to become a billionaire.
Buddy, there is work-life balance is the biggest line of bullshit that has ever been created. There's no such thing as work-life balance. When you're gonna squeeze lemonade out of horse shit, you gotta squeeze really, really hard, okay? So there is no work-life balance. It doesn't exist. It's bullshit. There's work-life balance, but to create something from nothing, there is no such thing, right? And going through it all, when you create something this big from nothing, I would say that I survived. Like, look, I went through all the betrayals, all the ripoffs, all the scams, all the things that you have to maneuver to get through and get to where we are now. I survived it. I'm here, and I did it.
Now, the sandwich business is competitive. One of the things that you did differently from everybody else that you became known for was the freaky fast delivery.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like Arizona Iced Tea founder, we interviewed him as well, Don Voltaggio. He had the 99-cent pricing strategy that became a huge marketing tactic. Did you know at the time that freaky fast delivery would become such a phenomenon that you would be known for and ultimately, differentiate you guys?
It's a great question. So the delivery originally, I couldn't afford A locations because I didn't have the money. A locations, like primo locations, main and main. I couldn't afford it. So I took B and C locations. And what delivery did is allowed me to pay B and C rent and do A sales because I went out and hustled. And I went out giving out samples literally on college campuses, like thousands and thousands of samples in a very disciplined way. And that's what nobody knows. That's what nobody knows. But now you know the secret.
How do you know?
61.
Do you have any regrets?
I don't believe in that shit. I'm going forward. All we got is this moment right now in the present, and I got the future. There's nothing I can do about the past, right? And I fucked up a lot of stuff, okay? I did a lot of stupid shit, but I'm not going there, okay? I've been forgiven. I've forgiven. We're moving forward. So, yeah, I'm done regretting. I'm too old to regret, buddy.
You got amazing advice, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Good to see you.
I have to ask you, I connect with all the billionaires I interview. Can I get your contact?
Yeah.
Number 3.
We're about to head out right now to go meet up with an interview with multi-billionaire Mike Rapoli at his house. Guys, the time has now come. We just got to Michael Rapoli's house. So should I say one of his houses out here in Orlando, Florida. And he lives, as you can see, at an absolute compound out here, you guys. But it's as expected. Guys, he's one of the richest men in the entire world. He sold not one, but 2 companies to Coca-Cola, one of the biggest companies in the world, for billions of dollars, you guys. So I'm calling it right now. This is going to be one of the craziest interviews that I've ever done. I guarantee you, he's got the likelihood to give me more game than just about any billionaire or anybody that I've ever interviewed for that matter, you guys. So let's go meet Michael right now and go see what he has to say for you guys. Come on. Michael, what's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Hey, come on.
It's great to meet you. Thank you for having us out.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
First of all, you got a nice compound out here, man. This place is incredible.
Yeah, this is my guest home.
We were letting them know, right? Some billionaires make their fortune off of oil or tech, but you built $2 billion companies out of drinks that most people have had in their fridge at one point or another.
Yeah, I did it the consumer packaged goods way. Small order and vitamin water from 98 to 2007. Sold that to Coke for $4 billion. And then in 2011, started another sports drink called Body Armor. Competed against Gatorade. And we sold that in 2021 for $8 billion. Combined 2 companies to Coke for $8 billion.
Did you think growing up all this was possible?
You know, I always said think big, dream bigger. If you're hitting your dreams, you're not dreaming big enough. My dreams are bigger now than they were when I was 15.
Now, I got one rule for today's interview. There's no holding back. You give them the secrets and the blueprint on what it takes to become a billionaire in today's world. Can we make that happen?
Can they handle it?
We're going to have to find out.
Let's fucking go then.
What's more important, product or distribution?
Always the product. The product, the consumer. The distribution to me is the least important. The least important. I'll tell you why.
But Warren Buffett says distribution is the key to everything.
Well, that's Warren Buffett's 95 years old. Mike Rapoli's 55 years old. There's a big difference. And that's why he's an investor in Coca-Cola and his company buy my companies. So I thank Warren for approving 2 deals of my companies to Warren Buffett. So.
Do you think it's better to be an investor or to start businesses? Because investor, it's not as intensive. Entrepreneurship's hard, man. You got to eat shit for a long time.
Well, but being an investor, you don't control anything. You control that guy's decisions. I want to bet on myself. If you're a real entrepreneur, you don't bet on other people. You bet on yourself.
Did you ever doubt yourself?
I never doubted myself, but I knew I was going to lose.
Did you have people that doubted you?
Everybody. And And by the way, not always in a negative way. My mom and dad told me to be careful. You know, they were immigrants coming from France. My dad was a waiter, my mom was a seamstress. So when I was making big money just having a job, you know, at a water company, and I said at 28 years old, I want to go partners with this guy, Darius Bykoff, and I want to do this. They said, oh my God, be careful. I took a pay cut to start my own company. I took a pay cut to be president. And I was president of a $100,000 company. But it grew to $750 million and we sold Coke for $4.1 billion. Let's go back to distribution one. At the end of the day, distribution is just a delivery agent or a way to get product out there. If you build a product that consumers demand, you don't have to worry about distribution. Those accounts are going to call you for your products. My customers are asking you for your body armor sports drink. Then you know you created the demand and they come to you.
Let me ask you this. Did you come from a lot of money?
Yeah, my parents were worth about $5,000. I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 6 people. I slept in the same room with my brother for 28 years, who became a New York City cop, which you couldn't pay me $20 million a year to do that. My mom and dad were in the next room, and my grandmother and my aunt slept in a pull-out couch, and we had one bathroom and a beautiful shower curtain, and that was it.
So you didn't come from money. How did you get the money to start your business?
At the end of the day, when you're only a $100,000 company, you're looking at $10,000. I took money from friends, family. My partner had money. We put it all together, and at the end of the day, we didn't try to grow quick. That's the other thing. We did $100,000 the first year. Second year, we did $500,000 at Vitamin Water. Then we did $1 million. Then we did $3 million. Then we did $9 million. Then $32 million. Then $50 million, all the way to $750 million. Body Armor was the same thing. It went from $1 million to $1 billion and sold for $8 billion. So it's starting slow. If you want to build $1 billion company, you have to build a $100 company first, then a $1,000 company, then a $100,000 company, then $1 million company, then a $10 million company. So it's not going to happen overnight. And that's the biggest thing. Everybody says, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be successful. I want to be rich. But I spend more time talking people out of being an entrepreneur. Because this is what I say. First 5 years for an entrepreneur, I call the survival years. Every single day you could go bankrupt. There were days that I didn't think we could make payroll.
Did you almost fail?
No, I failed. I failed every time. But what is the definition of failure? Going bankrupt? No, we didn't do that. But having a bad sales month or bad day or lose $2 million and have to find a way to survive? Yeah. So failing is good. If you don't fail in life, you're not trying hard enough. I fail more than anybody that's ever failed in the world. I love failing. Failing means I've taken to as far as I can and now I got to figure out another fucking way to get to the next level. If you're not failing, that means you got a lot more in the tank. I'm finding out at 55 years old, I still have a lot more in the tank. I'm happy. I'm not content. Once you get content, you might as well just give it up.
But you've already sold 2 businesses for billions of dollars and you're not satisfied. Why not?
Because there's a lot more to do. There's things to do with your family, there's things to do with your friends, there's things with businesses. At the end of the day, what you find out is that whether you're a great basketball player or a great coach or a great musician or a great athlete or a great entrepreneur, at the end of the day, you think you're competing against the outside or you're competing against people. That's really just noise in your head. You're just competing with yourself. There's a great poem out there, everybody should read this, called Man in the Glass. At the end of the day, if you're happy with yourself, you're gonna have a great life. If you're miserable with yourself and everybody loves you, you're gonna have a miserable life. So to me, it's me versus me. I'm competing against myself. So Mike Rapoli at 55 is competing with Mike Rapoli at 45 and 35. My goal is to be better every day, or even worse sometimes, suck less every day. And push myself. The guy that pushes me the most is Mike Rapoli. The guy who pushes Tom Brady the most is Tom Brady. The guy who pushes Kobe Bryant the most is Kobe Bryant. Not his teammates, not his coaches. People who are great have to live up to their expectations. They're tougher on themselves than they are their teammates. So at the end of the day, it's your level. As long as you know that you're competing against yourself and you want to be great, you should never be content. Happy is great. Content is boring.
Most billionaires I've met have lost their minds. Are you a little crazy?
I started crazy. So it's not lost your minds. First of all, I think everybody's crazy. I talk about mental illness way different, okay? It's got this stigma. Everybody has something. Everyone gets a little anxiety. Everybody has a little stress. Everybody has a little ADHD. It's okay. Everybody has it. So if everybody just goes out there and says, hey, I have it, and you have it. Now, there are people who have it at different levels, and a lot of people that try to hide their mental illness is why it gets out of control, because the harder it becomes to hide, the worse it can get internally. But I am crazy. I mean, if you ask my wife of 25 years, I'm crazy. If you ask my family, my friends, I'm crazy. If you ask me, I'm crazy. But there's nothing wrong, because crazy people change the world, and crazy people have big dreams. I don't want anybody to be as crazy as me, trust me. But I do want people to take chances and get a little crazier in life and be a little bit more adventurous and take chances and don't be afraid to fail.
How old are you now?
I'm 55.
Mike, if me and you died tomorrow and you had one more message for the younger generation, what would that be?
Oh man, live life to the fullest. Live every day like it's your last, and one day you'll be right.
You got amazing advice, my friend.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for your time.